Well, when you talk about these, and I just want to make sure, when you talk about these coaches and general managers, not always telling the truth, especially this time of year. Like this time of year, I expect everybody to lie. If you're saying something, I expect it's going to be some version of the truth, but not the actual truth. You're not saying you're offended by it, are you? Because I'm not offended.
I'm not offended by it. Here's what I'm offended by. The people who are in our jobs going along with it and covering for them. I was reading some stuff about John Feinstein, who died yesterday at the age of 69. Yeah. He's written 45 books. He's one of the most respected sports writers of all time. And I think I was on his radio show once or twice years ago, but I didn't know him personally, and I didn't know much about him, but I plan to learn more about him because he strikes me, based upon what I've seen, as somebody who took no bullshit, who did the job the right way, who didn't play games for access, who said what needed to be said. And for those of us who try to live our lives that way, when everybody else is good soldiers and they won't say the quiet thing out loud and they won't tell the audience how the sausage is made, when the audience has every right to know how the sausage is made, that's what I get upset about. I expect the coaches, the GMs, the players to lie because they don't want to complicate their lives. Look at what happened with DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons for telling the truth. I expect more from the people who do what we do. Let's not get so, and I understand, people have mortgages, they have families. But when the whole industry is kind of morphed into this, we're an external branch of the team and league PR, it makes it harder and harder for the people who are committed to telling the truth. Because the subjects of the coverage are now spoiled by the fact that the media that covers them is bought and paid for and will never say anything that might offend the emperor. That's the problem. I think that's one of the reasons why the NFL, from time to time, will complain to NBC about me. Because they've got a whole army of reporters who are on the payroll who know they're never going to step out of line lest they be fired.
Yeah, it's a fair point. 100% fair point. And you made the statement about John Schneider trying to explain it to the kids. The reason he said it that way is because he understands that the timeline, the real timeline, you can't really tell the real timeline or the whole. I mean, like everything is exposed. We'll find out the entire thing. There's no way. I'm sorry, John. There's just no way that you're having conversations with Geno Smith. And then you decide that the conversations aren't going well and we've got to pivot, and all of a sudden we've got a multi-year contract with Sam Darnold. That's not how it happened. There's just no way. If these contracts come together, they don't come together that quickly where you wait until 12:01 and then all of a sudden you talk for a minute and then, you're going to sign this DocuSign? No, it takes a lot of, there's some work that has to be done before the actual contract is agreed to. And that work is usually not done in 24 hours or 36 hours. So you're right. I think most people with common sense understand this. We need to start saying it.
And the tampering is rampant. This isn't just a Seahawks thing. What happens is it's so rampant, but if you're not blatant about it, the NFL looks the other way. And my frustration is I feel like the people who cover the NFL will refrain from saying it was blatant because they don't want to get a phone call from their source in Seattle saying, hey, man, what the hell? Why are you putting us on blast? Everybody else does it too. Why are you saying that we tampered? And hey, get your Seahawks information from somebody else, asshole. That's the access game. That's the access game. And I think the more that we have reporters who are beholden to that so they can get to Twitter 37 seconds before their competitors, the more willing they are to set aside the duty to the audience because they're more concerned about having somebody mad at them in Seattle because they dared to say what we all know. The moment they found out that Geno Smith wanted $45 million a year, they're at the Combine in Indianapolis. They got on the phone with Sam Darnold's agent and said, let's have a drink. And they worked out a tentative deal, and then they knew they could trade Geno Smith. I don't know that that's exactly how it went down, but there's no way in hell the process to pivot away from Geno Smith started at 12:01 Eastern on Monday.
Yeah, the tampering happens before the legal tampering period. We know that. It's just a matter of when did it start? Who knows? But it wasn't, hey, we gotta wait until this moment because this is what the league says. And the league knows it too. Hey, they'll just get you. They'll just get you when you make it too blatant. I'll give you, to come full circle, since it's the theme of the day, I'll give you a baseball example. Baseball, years ago, was a pitcher for the Yankees on a cold day. Everybody understands, and the hitters want this too in baseball. They want you to rub something on your hands. They want the pitchers to do it. The hitters do, because otherwise, on really cold days, pitchers can't control the ball, and that puts them in danger. So if you have like some pine tar on your hands, okay, umpires get it, hitters get it. It's illegal, but it's helping us all. Cool. Just don't make it blatant. I can't remember the Yankees pitcher's name. He had it on his neck. He had like a gob of it all over his neck. And so he kept going to his neck. And the umpire was just like, look, man, come on. Don't you have any game? Don't you know about subtlety? I'm allowing you to cheat, but I can't allow you to cheat when you have it on your neck and you keep rubbing your hand on your neck. So he finally threw him out of the game. And I think that's the way the NFL. That's the way the NFL looks at it. Don't make it so obvious that it's in our face.
During the break, I'm going to ask Google AI about this, and I guarantee you that it will tell me about the time that pitcher saved someone from a foul ball. That'll be the first line. And look, here's the best example.
Michael
I know we have to go.
Is his name Michael Pineda?
We got to complete the circle on this, because I was asked this yesterday at WDAE in Tampa. Why is it that the NFL ever punishes anyone for tampering? And the example was the Dolphins getting hammered a couple of years ago for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. And in that case, it was blatant. In that case, it was one hand at the bottom of the cookie jar and the other hand giving the middle finger to the league. And it never would have gone anywhere, because Sims and I were talking about the whole offseason. Hey, the Dolphins had this plan where they were going to hire Sean Payton after he quit the Saints, and Tom Brady was going to go to work there as an executive, and then he was going to go from executive to quarterback at some point in April or May. And nobody – and to our point, none of the other insiders said jack diddly poo about it. And they all knew. But, man, we can't go down that path. We're going to get people in trouble. And it never would have happened but for Brian Flores filing the lawsuit, Brian Flores accusing Stephen Ross of offering $100,000 per loss, Mary Jo White, Stephen Ross, Mary Jo White, not Stephen White, Mary Jo Ross. Mary Jo White hired by the NFL to go in and investigate, and it's like getting audited. They go in there looking for one thing, they're going to find something else. She found the evidence of the tampering, and boom. It was like everything had to just happen just right for one of the most blatant acts of tampering to be punished by the NFL. They don't want to do it, Michael. I'm firmly committed, and after this, I promise I'll take a break. They don't want to show the world all the ways these teams cheat, because at some point, if they do, you're going to have a prosecutor, you're going to have a member of Congress, you're going to have somebody stand up and say, there's a hell of a lot of corruption going on in the National Football League. We better go find out just how much there is, and we better make those folks accountable. I think there's a lot that goes on that the NFL looks the other way on, because the NFL doesn't want the heat from the outside. And if everybody knew everything that was being done to cheat the injury reports, tampering, every way that cheating happens, there would be hell to pay. And the NFL would be putting out a ton of fires dealing with grand juries and hearings and this, that, and the other. All right, now we'll take a break. When we return, is DK Metcalf nervous about the Pittsburgh quarterback situation? If he's not, he should be. More PFT Live right after this. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.